My boyfriend is uncomfortable with me breastfeeding. I 16F have a newborn since I was shamed into keeping it and I breastfeed him. My boyfriend, who I have been with for about 3 years, called me on FaceTime yesterday when I was feeding, and when he saw it he asked why I breastfeed when I can buy formula. I told him that it costs money and he seems to prefer my milk over formula. Ever since then he has been sending me articles about the dangers of breastfeeding and a bunch of fake news stories of kids dying from it. I tell him to quit sending me them and he says that he wants me to quit since he is uncomfortable with me feeding. He hasn't spoken to me since I told him I wasn't quitting. What should I do? Edit, he is not the father. Edit, so I don't have to keep explaining, I didn't cheat on him, I got pregnant from when I got assaulted. Have all these comments just completely ignored the age? And this, greater than shamed into keeping it. There's way more to address here than these boilerplate "men shouldn't be uncomfortable with boobs" responses.
He's immature, find someone who isn't bugged out by a boob. Edit, like many others are saying, it really is in your best interest to get some help. What you went through may have been very traumatic, and there's no shame in seeking professional help. Your boyfriend is a different topic that can be addressed later, but the priority at this point is making sure that you are okay.
Generally I am happy to chip in with my advice, and I am usually pretty good at getting a point across, but this one needs a professional. Calling you, Ebby45. Sorry to bother you, Ebby, but can you take this one? Please note OP's comments like this one. Greater than he doesn't have a reason to be jealous, the child is only a burden to me, and this one. Greater than it wasn't my choice to get pregnant and I was guilted into keeping it by my parents, and, worryingly, this one. Greater than I didn't cheat on him, I got pulled into a bathroom stall and was assaulted. I think you need some serious support. Have you got anyone like grandparents or aunties, uncles, older siblings who can support you against your parents' abusiveness? Keep breastfeeding that baby too, and best of luck.
I'm kind of shocked no one is talking about the fact this girl is 16, was assaulted and forced to have a child. I know she's asking for advice on her boyfriend, but there's clearly a bigger issue here to focus on. But on that note, he's being dumb, you're doing something natural. Tell him to get on board or shut up about it. Honey, your body went through 2 traumas and I believe you're at a very high risk for PPD. Do you have any help at all? Were you offered a therapist, any family that could help, an adult that you trust in your life? The real baby is your boyfriend.
He thinks breastfeeding is dangerous. Dear God, I hope this baby has your brains. I mean, the best you can do is ask why he's uncomfortable with it. But I'm not holding out hope that logic is gonna work. I'd tell him to ask as many friends as he can whether they were breastfed or formula fed and then come to his own conclusion instead of basing it off wild guesses from that one article he read years ago that doesn't even have citations. Sorry. I don't mean to be hostile. I'm not mad at you, you're stressed and tired, this isn't your fault, but honestly, how does one even come to the conclusion that millions of years of evolution of milk that is designed to give a baby close to exactly what it needs, is somehow toxic?
I'm so sorry this has happened to you and that you feel like the baby is a burden. No one should ever have to raise the product of their sexual assault, especially by being guilted, shamed into it. It sounds like you are trying to make the best of a bad situation. Please continue to breastfeed if you still intend to keep the baby. If you truly feel the baby is a burden and this won't be a popular opinion, it isn't too late to put the baby up for adoption. But if you do intend to raise the baby, take a giant step back from your boyfriend. Continue to breastfeed and build a bond with your baby so that you can see baby as a tiny person in and of themselves, not an extension of your assault. So much gentle support to you. I had a baby at 16 and while it wasn't the result of assault, there was some coercion involved. If you want to talk or vent, DM me. I have a daughter your age, I can't imagine how I'd feel if you were her.
Bullshitare like train sets made for babies, but men end up playing with them. Tell him to grow up.
Yeah, you're a mother now and you will probably be far more mature than anyone your age for the next 5 to 6 years at least. Is he the baby's father? If not, I'd let him go be a kid and you focus on your baby. If he is, being a kid, got on the bus and left, tell him to grow the F up, and stop being stupid.
He's an immature boy who can't deal with the reality that bullshitare for feeding babies, and not just for his sexual pleasure.
Keep breastfeeding. How old is your BF?
Breastfeeding is the best thing you can do for your baby. Either tell your boyfriend to get over it or get lost. It's that simple. Your baby is way more important than his fragile ego. Opt for your sake and the baby's. I hope you are talking to your therapist about ways of giving the baby up. I am aching for you. I'm so sorry this has happened to you. Other than this, I wish the crisis counselor Ebba would chime in. This is way beyond the advice of Redditors. You are a brave girl and your boyfriend is immature. I loved that comment about booble shaitan trains being for babies. Please keep us updated because this is one of those posts that will stay in my mind and heart, and I really hope to read you found a good home for your baby and that you are healing and working toward your future. Heart hugs to you.
I had my son at 17 and it was incredibly hard and still is 11 years later. My best advice would be to not waste time dating anyone who's unsupportive of your parenting. You probably won't find anyone worthwhile until your 20s tbh. This boy will be nothing but tension when what you need is a real partner. Which again, you won't find in a 17-year-old boy. My experience was everything was on me, every single day all day long. I'm sorry for the difficult road ahead. Tell him to fuck off. If he is unwilling to be comfortable with you doing something as natural and motherly as feeding your child, you aren't the girl for him. Also, tell him that he'd like it too with how much of a baby he is acting like. Your boyfriend is as smart as a carrot.
Keep breastfeeding. Ignore your boyfriend. Is he the baby daddy? Even if he was the dad, he has no say on this matter. Do what's right for your kid.
The dangers of breastfeeding. Didn't know such articles existed.
Hey up. A lot to unpack here. First, break up with him. He isn't being respectful towards you at all. Secondly, are you okay? Do you need help? I'm so sorry that your consent has been violated in all of these ways. You didn't choose to have sex, you didn't choose to be pregnant, you didn't choose to give birth, you didn't choose to keep the child, and now your boyfriend is trying to take away your choice on how to feed this child. Your family is just as vile as the man who forced himself on you in the first place. Unfortunately, your boyfriend is not mature enough for a partner who has a child. He probably hasn't really dealt with his second-hand trauma of his girlfriend being assaulted in such a horrific way. But that doesn't excuse his own actions. He is wrong in trying to further override your autonomy. You mentioned you wanted to adopt out the child. Is this still possible? If not, I guess try to reclaim your authority over yourself going forward and as much as possible try to assert your way of doing things. Again, I am so sorry you had to and continue to experience this.
Sweetie, it sounds like you are in a horrible situation. You've been given some good advice, but there is clearly a lot more going on here than your boyfriend's immaturity. If you ever want to talk to someone outside the situation with no consequences or judgment, please feel welcome to message me. He's immature. Kids build up good immune systems with breast milk. There is no danger.
As a fellow mom and breastfeeding mom, fuck this dude. Boobleshitter made for babies. End of story. There's a shit ton of health benefits for you and baby, and if he's not the dad, he doesn't get a say. In order to compromise with him, maybe use a cover while nursing. Even though I personally don't think you should have to.
The only one who gets a say in how the baby is fed is you. No one else, and especially not your boyfriend. He sounds dumb as shit. You can do better. It doesn't seem like you have anyone in your corner, so if you need someone to talk to you can DM me anytime.
Oh hun, this makes me so sad. The boyfriend situation, he's an idiot. But the rest of it hurts my heart. You sound like you need support right now and you don't have much of it. Are there any other close relatives you can talk to about all of this? If you ever need someone to talk to, then feel free to inbox me. I'm a mum too. It's more important to me that you understand that breast milk is far superior to formula than your relationship with your dipshit boyfriend. Most formula containers have some language on them indicating that it should be used to supplement breastfeeding or as a replacement if breastfeeding cannot be done. The people selling it say it's not the preferred first choice. Let him go on not speaking to you forever. It's not possible that he ever had anything meaningful to say anyway.
He's not the dad, he can go kick rocks. Fed is best. I'm glad you're standing up for yourself and your baby. If you're comfortable breastfeeding still and your baby is growing, keep doing what you're doing. Because fed is best. And tell that boyfriend to knock it off because it's not about him. Up to you to decide what to do, but I hope you'll stay true to your heart.
If he's not the dad, then drop him like a hot brick and go find someone who isn't a complete fucking moron.
I am a mother and sexual assault survivor, and I want to give you all my hugs. You didn't deserve any of this. Look into safe havens, there's hospitals that will take babies, no questions asked. Don't let your family make you feel bad. If you don't want to or don't think you can handle this baby, giving him up is what's best for him. You'd be doing the right thing, making sure he's safe and taken care of. I saw you say you're in therapy, please make sure your mental health is accounted for. You could very likely be suffering from postpartum depression. It's very common, and treatable. You're not a bad person. You're a kid yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Also, ditch the BF. You deserve better than him. Very, very odd behavior. To be honest, I'm not even sure what to make of it. Ego thing. Like he doesn't want other people to see you breastfeeding. Edit. I skimmed past the age. How old is the boyfriend? I agree with what others have said and that you need to be in the hands of people who care about you and your child.
Your boyfriend needs to get over it. What you are doing by breastfeeding is amazingly healthy for your child and you're very lucky that you are able to do so. Many women have trouble with breastfeeding. If you choose to change to formula, do it on your own terms, not because your boyfriend is weirded out by breastfeeding. Your body, your child, your choice. Get rid of that boyfriend now. He's already informed you that he's fine using fake news sources to back up his bigoted opinion as fact. This is unlikely to get better. And good on you for being a breastfeeding teen mom. You guys are rare and face a lot of hurdles, prejudices. You're giving your baby a real advantage and you should be applauded, not harassed, for doing so.
Throw the whole boyfriend out.
Honestly, being a teen mom is hard enough. You don't need an idiot boyfriend who does not respect you or understand the first thing about rearing a child on top of it. Please let this loser go drive someone else nuts. I know there are people out there who've got twisted minds, issues with breastfeeding, but always remember you every right to do it.
He's not the father, he's not the mother, he has no say. He's quite immature, there are obvious red flags as well. Do what's best for you and your baby.
I hope you're able to get the baby adopted and get some help for yourself. You deserve professionals there to help you, just like you deserve to have a broken bone set correctly. I don't have any advice at all, I'm just rooting for you to get through all this.
Breastfeeding is healthier for the baby, they get antibodies from the mother and a lot of other health benefits. It's also a great bonding experience for you and the child. Move on and find another guy more mature. Also, they didn't have formula in the 1800s and had to fed them. Dump him. If he's so immature about something like breastfeeding, feeding your kid, then he's too immature to be in a relationship where infants are involved. Edit. Just read through the details of how the child was conceived. I stand by my initial suggestion, dump him. If he really has an ounce of empathy in his body, he has no right to tell you what you can and can't do with your body, especially after what you went through. If he can't give you the basic human decency to not comment on how you take care of this child, that you didn't want and weren't trying to conceive, he doesn't deserve you.
He's an idiot. I have a situation now where I spend hundreds on formula because my child's mother doesn't want to breastfeed for her own reason. Don't listen to that guy, he won't be around long. That's his problem, not yours. Tell him you're going to breastfeed and that's that. If that's unacceptable to him, dump him. He's being a child, and you already have one to take care of. Also, I'm really sorry you were shamed into keep a child you don't want. You still have options should you want to explore adoption. Bin the boyfriend, he's dumb, sounds like a complete moron and incredibly selfish and misinformed. Breastfeeding is pushed for babies in my country because of all of its positive effects in many different areas. Keep going sis, you can do it, smiling face with hearts. I am so sorry that this happened to you. I sincerely hope you can get help and don't let your current boyfriend tell you to do things you know in your heart is wrong. Honey, if he's not the father, he needs to STF you about it. You do you and keep breastfeeding. You're doing what is natural. It won't kill your baby at all and is really good for them as far as getting antibodies to prevent disease and other nutrients they just can't duplicate well in formula. Just keep yourself hydrated though. It is taxing on your body as it removes hydration from you, so try to sip coffee, tea, milk, or water while doing it. Tell him to get used to it. It's your baby, not his. He didn't get a say in this issue and he can look the other way.
The most important person in people's lives are usually their partner, but the day you have a kid, it should switch. Tell him to grow up or get the fuck out. Dump him.
Tell him to fuck off and end it with him. Your child and your body. He gets zero say. I'm so sorry for the circumstances under which you fell pregnant and that you were shamed into keeping it.
Breastfeeding is natural, nature's way of making your baby healthy and strong.
Wow. Breastfeeding is wonderful for the baby and he sounds very immature. I'm so sorry you aren't getting support from him. I'm also sorry you are going through this. I know it may not be much, but I will keep you in my prayers.
I seriously want to know why he thinks women have breasts, if not for breastfeeding. Does he think they're just fun bags for his entertainment? He sounds like an idiot. And after reading about the situation you're in, I would just get rid of him, as he provides no value or assistance to your life. You need more people who are supportive, not people who shame and manipulate. I'm sorry you're in this situation, Op.